Friday, January 16th, something like that. So, good morning everyone. I got into making, I don't know how clearly you can see this on TV, but I got into making beeswax candles. I've had a candle lighted every day for my mom since she passed, and it's in the Tibetan tradition you light a candle for 49 days so that the soul can achieve its highest possible rebirth in its next realm. I don't really know if that's true. I don't remember if that happened to me or not, but I like the thought anyway. And so today's day 50, and I'm looking at the candle in my mom's room, and in my room for my mom, and I'm finding it that I don't want to blow the candle out, even though it's been 49, this is the 50th day. And I started really thinking about, what is the, because I can remember growing up Catholic, what it was, you go to church and you throw $1 into the till and you light a candle for somebody and say a prayer for them at the church. And there were always all these candles lit at the front of the church, which I always thought was really cool. But I don't think I really grasped at the time, what it really means to light the candle until I actually considered, blowing the candle out on my mom, so to speak. And also yesterday there was a person who was in a spiritual group that I was in who passed away, and we were doing a meditation for him last night with some other friends, and so we all lit a candle at the same time, but I didn't light a candle, I just put him into the flame that was already lit for my mom. And so I thought these candles were pretty cool to me. They were pretty easy to make. I actually think we're going to sell them at Rooster Wings. If you ever want a beautifully smelling beeswax candle, they burn a long time. They burn for like 36 hours at least. And but I thought that it would be nice today to light one for all of you, and so that we can all burn in that flame, together. So that's what I'll do. I don't know if you'll be able to
Thanks for doing that, Mike.
What's that?
I said thank you for doing that.
You bet. And so
everlasting light.
And so
use all the help we can get out here. All the light we can get.
There's been a lot of suffering this year, right? We lost a lot of people and a lot of transitions. And so I'll keep this lit for the whole class so that we, it means something different now to me to light a candle for something. I have a better understanding of the intentionality that goes into lighting a candle for someone. I wouldn't have chosen for my mom to pass for me to gain that wisdom, but there it is. Of course, Beth will be glad when I stop making these candles, because then the wax won't be getting all over the stove and everything.
I love the candles. It's so they're beautiful.
Thank you.
He's making them.
Yeah, I buy the wax in like 5-pound blocks, and then I use a hammer and a chisel to smash them up so I can fit them into this little Pyrex pot that I bought at the Leeward Light, and melt it up. And you have to pour it in at a certain temperature or it won't burn that well. And then we had some wicks, and it's pretty cool. They smell It smells like nectar. It actually smells like you can eat it. So I'll probably have
Don't
to,
try that, Mike. That might cause you some problems down the road.
well, I could use it for fillings or something. I'm gonna move this over here so I don't light myself on fire too badly. But hopefully the smell and your wishes will permeate the room in our practice together this morning. So.
I too grew up Catholic, and at my house, my father always had a votive candle on the mantelpiece of the fireplace, and we always had holy water.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got older and I traveled quite a bit in Buddhist countries, and I realized, how spiritual my father really was. With the candles and the holy water, it was really a great epiphany.
Yeah.
They really, the symbolism is so strong and so much in ourselves. So I can understand how you've appreciated the candle for your mother.
Chun Chim Nim, our great teacher, Chun Chim Nim, would talk about the candle. She would say that let me make sure that I get this right. The wax of the candle is our physical body, and the flame is our energy body, so prana, and the brightness of the flame is our spiritual body. So all three bodies, she would use the candle as a metaphor for that. I thought that was pretty cool. So let's start seated with a little breath, a little centering. If you guys would all self-mute, then I wouldn't have to do it. As we begin to sit here and open into our breath, bring into your mind all the things that you would light a candle for. And we can put all of them into the candle that we've lit here today. You'll notice as you start to think about those things that you may lose connection to the breath. But because this is a yoga practice, practicing for real life, I guess, practicing breathing at the same time while we're calling those intentions in. So devote some of your energy to focusing on the breath. And let the intentions for the flame slowly rise within the breath. This candle only burns for 30 hours or so, so we won't be here for very long, but certainly not long enough for all the intentions we would have, but just the big ones that come in. Your ocean-sounding belly breath with a 3-part belly breath. Expand the belly, ribs, and chest as you breathe in. Constrict the back of your throat as you breathe out. breath and encourage your spine a little straighter so you can expand into the breath a little more fully. Find your way to your back, release onto your back. And hug your knees in towards your chest. And side to side. Come to happy baby. Extend your left leg straight onto the floor, left arm overhead, lengthen through your left side and hip flexor. Switch sides. Bend your knees, both feet flat on the floor. Hands flat on the floor, fingertips brush towards your heels and begin to pelvic rock. Arch your lumbar spine away from the floor as you breathe in. And release your lumbar spine to the floor as you breathe out. No need to hurry the movement. Let your breath guide you. Expand the movement into a rolling bridge pose by lifting the sacrum away from the floor as part of your movement, as part of your pelvic wave. Release back down again, hug your knees into your chest. A smaller rock from side to side. And a circular weeble or wobble. Go both ways. Feet to the floor again, right foot on top of your left knee. Interlace your fingers behind the back of your left thigh or left shin. Or straighten your left leg up towards the ceiling and grab a toe. Soft through the arms and the chest and soft on the sides of your neck. Good. Right foot stays on top. Drop the left foot down to the floor. Arms out to the side. Exhale onto the outside of your left hip so the sole of your right foot grounds down onto the floor. And turn off and look to the right. You can also reach the arms a little higher overhead if you want to create more of a sensation in the right side. Feel the ribs and the intercostal muscles move all the way up to your armpit and in front of your chest as you expand the breath in. And slowly exhale it out fully. Sometimes your stretch might even become a yawn. Come onto your back again and we'll switch feet and sides. Left foot above the right knee. Interlace your fingers behind the back of your right thigh, in front of your right shin. Or straighten the right leg and grab a toe with your left hand. Concentrate on inflating the belly as you breathe in with your breath, and then constricting the back of the throat to even out your exhale. Left foot stays on top as the right foot slips back down to the floor. Roll to the right. Drop the sole of your right foot on the floor. Arms out to the side. In a T position or higher, look left and breathe. Roll to your right side. And come onto your hands and knees. Have a nice wide base with your knees. Keep your hips directly on top of your knees without swaying them from side to side. Turn and look back at your right foot outside your right shoulder. Inhale back to center, exhale. Other side, left side. Inhale back to center again. Exhale, look right. Inhale back to center again. Exhale left. Once more to the right. And once more to the left. Back to the center, cow stretch. Exhale, cat. Move to your own breathing. Concentrate on feeling the vertebrae of your spine, connect to them as much as you can. Next time you come up into cat stretch, hold it, keep your chin tucked into your chest, bring your big toes together, let your knees slide out a little bit and begin to slide back. Keep your hands where they are into child's pose. Land there with your elbows and wrists off the floor. Take a breath in. Walk your hands over to the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale, walk the hands left. Inhale back to table. Straighten your right leg up behind you. Shift your weight over to your right hand. Sweep the right leg across the back of your left leg and outside of your mat. Curl the toes of your right foot under and turn, look back at your right ankle, outside your left shoulder. Drop your right knee down next to your left so there's no space in your knees. Then walk your knees into the center of your mat and flare your feet out so the tops of your feet overhang the edges of your mat. Take a breath in. Keep your hands right where they are and exhale, slide the hips back towards the heels. Your ribs towards your left thigh. Nose and chin towards your left knee. Soft in the neck and shoulders. Good. Inhale forward, back to table. Straighten your right leg up behind you and drop it back to the floor. Straighten your left leg up behind you. And release back to the floor. Widen your knees out, big toes touch, slide back to child's pose. This time you can bend your elbows and rest your forehead. Inhale back to table again and extend the left leg up behind you. A little more weight in your left hand than in the right. That's to keep the left elbow straight. Sweep your left leg over to the right. Curl the toes under and turn and look out your right shoulder, over your outside of the right shoulder, back at the inside of your left foot. Big belly breaths. Drop the left knee down next to the right. Walk the knees into the center of the mat. Flare your feet out wide. Hands stay where they started. Take a breath in. Exhale, slide the hips back towards your heels. Long spine and arms. Ribs towards your inside of your right thigh. You can also very gently rock to the left and the right. Barely noticeable that you're moving if you do choose to move. Maybe inhale forward, back to table. Widen the knees out, big toes touch. Slide back to child's pose. Long arms again. Fingertips reach towards the top of your mat. Press your palms into the floor. Lift all of your fingers off of the mat, but press your palms into the mat. So as if you're pushing them down like suction cups. And then, one at a time, drop the thumb, the pinky, ring finger, middle finger, and index finger down to the mat. Let that wave of release come up your arms and over the top of your shoulders. Inhale back to table. The hips stay straight over the knees for this next, for Anahadasana. The hips don't slide forward at all. Walk your hands as far forward as you can reach. And lower your forehead, chest, and heart towards the floor. Turn the points of your elbows towards the floor. So as if you're trying to dial your elbows to point directly towards the floor, which means the fleshy part of the inside of your elbow at the top of your forearm points up towards the ceiling. You'll feel this in your armpits strongly, most likely. And press your head up away from the floor and walk your hands back to table. Widen your knees out, curl your toes under. Shift your weight back towards your heels with your toes curled under. And lift your knees off the floor just a little bit. Keep your knees bent. And come back down. Reposition your hands a little bit if you need to. Spread your fingers nice and wide, palms nice and wide. Makes this easier. You squeeze your fingertips, palms into your hands so you're engaging all the muscles in your wrists and forearms, even up to your armpits. Shift your weight back towards your heels and lift the knees up 3 or 4 or 5 inches off the floor. Then press up to downward dog. Hold downward dog in stillness and let the energy run wherever it's not moving. If you forgot to take your socks off like I did and you feel you need to, you can pop back down onto your knees and take them off. Most socks slip, some don't. Bend your right knee deeply and hold it bent. Bend your left knee deeply, straighten the right, hold it bent. Bend the right knee again, hold it bent. And switch over to the left knee again. Good, straighten both legs. Come forward into plank. Drop your knees to the floor. you want to do upward dog, you can do full upward dog. We're going to do 8-point pose. So knees to the floor, keep your tailbone lifted. Squeeze your elbows underneath your ribs, lower your chest and chin towards the floor, and then slide forward and press up. Knees are on the floor. Toes are still curled under, unless you're doing full upward dog. Look up. One more breath here. Stay relaxed. And release. Widen knees back to child's pose. Keep the arms long. Good. Inhale up to table. Bring your right knee up and out to the side and begin to make big, slow, crunchy circles. Maybe 3 in each direction. Brush your knee towards your right elbow on the way forward and straighten your right leg behind you at the bottom of your rotation. And after 3 on each side, bring your right knee up and out to the side and hold it. Again, shift a little more weight over into the right hand. And drop your left knee down to the floor. Right knee down to the floor. Left knee comes up. And circles 3 times each direction. Bring the left knee up to the side, a little more weight in your left hand. Good, release the left knee to the floor and sit back towards your heels. Keep your breath even and soft. Good. Inhale forward, curl your toes under, shift your hips back towards your heels. You know, it's very easy to get into the habit of simply coming up to downward dog once you curl your toes under. And there's nothing really wrong with doing that. There's no perfect way to do these postures, but it's an interesting inquiry actually to shift your weight back towards your heels and sort of load up as if you were going to jump forward. And then transfer the energy to your toes and then press up that way. As you hold downward dog, you'll notice the tendency is to bear most of the weight on the outside edges that are near the pinky and the ring finger. So put as much weight on your thumb, index finger, and middle finger as you do on the other fingers, and press that part of your palm as firmly into the floor as the others. And if you squeeze that part of your hand into the floor, you'll feel the energy of that go all the way up to your shoulders, the inside of your shoulders. We want to work that too, move the energy there too in downward dog. Then slowly walk forward towards the top of your mat and hang over your toes in a forward bend. Loose head and neck. Shake it and move it. Good. Gently slide your fingers towards your toes across the tops of your feet as you inhale to make your way up. Softly dragging your palms and fingers against the front of your body. Inhale the arms up overhead. Lengthen the spine up towards the ceiling. Press into the soles of your feet, the four corners of your feet. Lift all your toes off the floor. Look up. No weight on your lumbar spine here at all. It's all equally supported all the way around your spine and torso. Good. Exhale, pull the elbows down and behind you. Open your chest. Reach the arms behind you. Dive forward as you release the toes back to the floor. Tense your fingers. Step back. Through lunge to plank. Press up to downward dog. Extend your left leg up high and straight. Active through the sole of your left foot and toes. Bend your left knee and roll the left knee and hip up toward the ceiling. Equal weight in both hands. Good, and release back to downward dog. Right leg lifts up. Bend your knee, roll and stack the hip. Good, and release to downward dog. Come into plank. Drop your knees to the floor. Slide your elbows and the inside of your biceps towards your ribs. Lower your chest down. Keep your tailbone high. Your nose, forehead, or chin, or all three brush against the floor. Slide forward and press up. Modified 8-point pose. Modified upward dog. And release your hips back towards your heels. Walk the knees out. Bend the elbows. Resting in child's pose. Recalibrate your breath and wait for it to recalibrate before you move again. Good, your ribs and lower back and belly heaving like a giant bullfrog. till your jaw relaxes and your breath becomes softer and lighter again. You would walk forward, arch your elbows onto your belly. Press your chest away from the floor. Place your left hand behind your right elbow so your left forearm crosses in front of your chest. Bend your right knee up, right foot up off the floor. We've done this before. Reach back and grab the top of your foot with your right hand. Be mindful not to drop your left shoulder to the floor as you do this. Keep your chest pressing away from the floor. And release the right leg down to the floor. Slide the left arm all the way out in front of you and roll onto your left side. Stack everything up in a straight line. Use your right hand like a tripod until you get your balance. And you can bring your right hand back to your hip if you choose. A couple of breaths here to let the body fully soften and relax. And once it does, you can squeeze your legs together and lift your ankles and calf and knees and part of your thigh up off the floor. Buddha pose. So there's two focus points going on while we're holding this posture. One is on the soft breath and the other is feeling what's happening in the body. Good. In release, slide your right knee up into half frog. Your arms are in cactus arms. Drop your left ear to the floor. Rest here. And release your right leg straight. And press up onto your elbows again. Chest presses away from the floor. Cross your right forearm in front of your chest. Bend the left knee up. Reach back and grab the top of your left foot. Straighten your right arm, reach your right arm straight out in front of you and roll onto your right side. Line your right side up for Buddha pose on the right side. And land there with a few soft breaths, a couple soft breaths. And then lift your ankles, legs squeezing together, calves, knees, part of your thigh. Five more soft breaths here. Good, and release onto your right ear and cactus arms. Slide your left knee up into half row. Is there any part of your body that you can let go and release a little more? Good, and release. Your left leg straight. Roll to your right side. Find your way to your back. Hug your knees into your chest one more time. With a little rock from side to side to settle. Your thoracic and lumbar spine, mid-back, low back. And release your feet to the floor and have a few minutes of rest. Draw a wave of relaxation to your hairline, soft forehead, soft eyes, face, and jaw, soft throat, neck, chest, shoulders and arms. Soften your upper back, ribs, abdomen, lower back, pelvis, front of your hips, sides of your hips, bones, sacrum, down your legs, thighs, through your knees, calves and shins, all the way down the tops of your feet. Feel every cell in your body all at once. Just new cells in our body being born every moment. Feel those new cells being born, drawing on the prana that the energy that you created from your yoga practice. And feel all of your cells in your body buzzing with the prana you created from your practice. You can make your way onto your right side and gradually up into the seated position. I hope that somewhere in the intentions that you held at the beginning of class with the candle, that you were in those intentions also in terms of what you want to feel in your body. Whatever it is that you want to share. Take a few more breaths with your eyes closed to feel and send out those intentions inside and out. This practice help move us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, and from our time-bound, body-bound, ego-based consciousness to our bigger, truer selves. Namaste. All right, Good Friday morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Good to see
It's
you all.
great. Oops. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thanks, Henry.
So, put me down for some of those candles that you're going to be making.
Yeah, I will.
And if you can find a way, maybe I'll contact you offline.
Yeah, we can leave them out on the porch and you can swing by and just grab them.
Be a long drive from Naples up to Salisbury for me to get them.
Where are you?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida. Maybe I'll have to send you one. I don't know what's.
You can send me a few, and I'll give you the address, and then you can just put it on
All right.
on my Roots to Wings account. I'd love to have a few of them.
Sounds good. I'll do it.
Great.
All right.
So, and it'll be great, and thanks a lot for today, man. And if Beth is still on, hi Beth.
Yeah.
Hi, I am still on. No,
Oh, good. How you doing, kid?
I'm good. Yeah, I enjoyed the practice. Thank you, Mike. I got to keep my screen off just because I've got kids. Like my son was just down here sitting on my mat with me, and my dog is running around. So it's kind of a little more chaotic in my house. So
Which of those two beautiful sons of yours was with you?
Connor came down to show me a really cute fox video.
Cool. Tell the boys I said hello, will you?
I will. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
All right. Have a great one. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.